And a very good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome to the Exchange Arena in Little Falls, where this afternoon it is a Section 5A contest as the fourth-ranked Little Falls Flyers, with a record of 7-0, take on the Sauk Rapid Storm with a record of 2-4. Hello everyone, James Hershey with you. Glad to be with you once again this afternoon here on Flyer Media Productions. Once again joining me here, Jamie Pettit, and Mark Deal and his staff is running the cameras and the rest of the crew. And yeah, it's been a long time, Jamie, since you and I have had a chance to talk. 9 days since the last time the Flyers had played a hockey game, and that was in Pine City.
It was in Pine City. It was quite an adventure for us to get there, as many twists and turns to get to the rink in Pine City. In the end, the Little Falls Flyers came home with a 6-3 win. Their 7th win of the season. They remain undefeated. Best start for the Little Falls Flyers since 2008-2009, when they rattled off 29 wins in a row, went on to win the third place trophy at the Class A state tournament. So good start for the Flyers. Joey Hanowski in his first season, 7 for 7 behind the Flyer bench. And in that 6-3 win over Pine City, Flyers had a 3-0 lead after one period of play, fairly conventional first period. And then the penalty boxes got busy for both sides in the second and third period. Pine City did outscore Little Falls 2-1 in the second. Flyers had a 4-2 lead after two. Flyers outscored the Dragons 2-1 in the third for a 6-3 Little Falls win. But in the penalty department, 8 penalties against Little Falls, 15 to Pine City. The two teams combined for 65 penalty minutes. Little Falls was 3 for 10 on the power play. Pine City 2 for 5 with the man advantage. Leading the way for Little Falls was our Pizza Ranch player of the game, George Moore. He had 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. His defensive partner, senior captain Colin Cray, added 3 assists. And Matt Philippi scored a couple third period goals for Little Falls as they beat Pine City 6-3. Winning goaltender was DJ Kicker, 16 of 19.
On the other side for the Sauk Rapid Storm, they come with a record of 2-4 on the season, and they were in action on Tuesday night when they took on the Alexandria Cardinals and lost by a score of 9-4.
It was close through 17 minutes, tied 1-1. Cardinals had the 7-3 shots on goal advantage, but then Alexandria put some distance between themselves and the Storm with 6 second period goals. They never looked back. A 9-4 win for the Cardinals. On the Sauk Rapids right side of the ledger, Easton Portner had 3 goals and an assist for 4 points. So Portner was in on all 4 Sauk Rapids goals. Shots on goal favored the Alexandria Cardinals 37-11, and the losing goaltender for the Storm was Cole Young, 28 of 37.
So the Sauk Rapid Storm, as I mentioned, come with a record of 2-4. They're 1-0 in section play. The Flyers 7-0 overall, and they are 5-0 in section play. And of course, as we mentioned, section play, this is the only time that these two teams will meet. So this definitely has a lot of implications on what happens in February when it comes to seeding.
Well, Coach Hanowski has stressed throughout the season, although we're only into December, but he continues to talk about how important games are within Section 5. Of course, for the longest time, Little Falls was in Section 6. There was a short period of time where Sauk Rapids was also in Section 6 for a couple seasons, but now Little Falls is over in 5, and these section games take on the utmost importance with the Flyers 5-0 in section play. The Pine City game, that was a section win. Only time you play Pine City. Of course, the game on Thursday night with Cambridge was postponed. That will be made up at a later date. That's the only time this season Little Falls will play Cambridge. So a one-game shot with Sauk Rapids, and you can't afford to let it get away, especially on home ice.
You mentioned Joey Hanowski. Here's that interview I had with him before the game today. Welcome back to the pregame show. I'm now joined with the head hockey coach of the Little Falls Flyers, that being Joey Hanowski. It seems like forever since the last time we talked. We were going really hard there with 7 games in about 14 days, and here you get a 9-day break. Let's go back, I guess, to the game against Pine City. Kind of a game you don't maybe necessarily want to go back to, a 6-3 win, but very ugly when it came to the penalties. Your comments about the game?
Yeah, don't really want to talk too much about it, but no, it was I was happy with the section win, and we got a couple of days to cool off a little bit. Looking back, it was a section win on the road, and Pine City fought and played well. Just didn't like our undisciplined penalties, and we told our guys that we can deal with the hard-working penalties. You know, if you're moving your feet and you trip a guy or accidentally or you hit it, whatever it is, if it's working hard, we'll deal with it. The retaliation, the stuff after the whistle, we're just not going to put up with anymore.
How do you rectify, or how do you, I guess, make that change? How does it work? Is it just, if I guess the kid does it, that he's going to see maybe less action, or how do you go about that?
Well, if we get 6 or more penalties, then it's going to be a lot more Saturday morning skates. They got the message that day, and we're not necessarily going to sit a kid, because we win as a team, we lose as a team. So if kids want to be undisciplined, take penalties, we're going to be the discipline the whole team instead of just one.
Did you feel like you would have to deal with this at this time of the year at all? I mean, obviously, you're being a first-year coach, so that lots of things are going to come your way, and this is something different for you.
Yeah, I think any team, it's different. This is, like I said, yes, we're happy we're 7-0, but this is going to hurt us sooner than later with a lot of things. So it's one of those things where we have to be more disciplined, and if we're not, it's going to come down to the end of the year, and we're going to get burned for it sooner than later.
You mentioned that was an important section win, and you've done very well in the section so far, and you're going to have another section game today. We'll get to that in just a moment, but you were supposed to have a game on Thursday. Unfortunately, with the situation that happened with the school districts really nationwide and especially here locally, that game did not happen. First of all, I'm assuming you're going to have that game made up at some point, but I guess what's the effect of the team, if anything, or what has happened over the last couple days?
Yeah, I think first you just want to thank Superintendent Jones, all the principals, Mr. Bjorgi, Kevin Jordan, our AD. I thought our administration handled it perfectly. We told our guys that this is things that we need to take serious. These are no joke. Sadly, that this type of threats and events have happened, not just in the state of Minnesota, but United States. So we were happy our administration handled it with them and Little Falls Police, and whoever was involved. We thank them for what they did for our school district and other ones. Like I said, it was an unfortunate event, but we're so happy that we can play today. I think that was one thing that we were just hoping we could play Saturday, whether it was in Little Falls or Sauk Rapids. We didn't know, but we're happy to be home and thank everyone that helped with it.
It's you had a 9-day break here, so it's good to get back on the ice, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I don't know who's more excited to come to the rink today. I think it was the coaching staff or the kids. They were, Coach Newman's back and Coach Morgan even today. I mean, we were all walking around with smiles on our face. We get to play a game today. So practice was good. I think we needed that week to kind of refocus a little bit. I thought Monday and Tuesday were our best practices of the year. So hopefully we can carry that into today.
A lot of times teams' season kind of winds down with the holidays coming up, but after today, you have a game scheduled on Tuesday, you take a little break, and then you have a 3-day tournament. So really not a lot of break for you guys, so maybe this was your chance to have a break and refuel.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think our guys like playing. We all like playing games. We've really, hit today. This is another big section game. That's all we're worried about, because after today we kind of go into a good stretch of non-section games. We'll worry about those when we come, but section games are always first and foremost the most important on the schedule. So got another big one here today to take care of business.
Let's talk about the game today against Sauk Rapids. What do we know about the Storm, if anything?
Yeah, they're a solid team. I know they've had some scores not go their way, but from every coach I've talked to that's played with them, they're scrappy, they work hard, and they'll compete. I think they're going to be a lot like a kind of a Pine City maybe, or like one of those teams where they're not going to give up. They're not going to quit. They're going to keep working hard, and we told our guys it's going to be a dogfight today, and you better know that coming in.
All right, gotta ask, keys to the game. What are we doing today to get a win and continue our unbeaten streak at 8-0?
Well, I'm not going to say stay out of the box because it's not working. We're just going to say play more disciplined hockey. we challenged our guys complete game today. That's what we've challenged. We've had really good periods. We've had 2 good period games, complete hockey game today, and forwards going to the net. That'll be our 3 today, discipline and going to the net.
Good luck, Coach. We'll talk to you after the game.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, that is the head hockey coach, Little Falls Flyers. That is Joey Hanowski. And thanks to Joey, and yes, his keys to the game, he did not want to mention the penalty stuff, which hopefully they'll get that rectified in this game today. And that was a huge problem, not only in the Pine City game, but if you look at the season, and I know you're going to pull up the stats here, they have had a ton of penalty minutes, especially being a top 5 team ranked in the state. It's not good.
They've had 8 penalties in 3 games this season. Highly unusual to take that many penalties in 3 games, and they won all 3 of those games. And if I remember correctly, it was the Orono game, the Alexandria game, and the Pine City game. So 2 of those 3 games went into overtime. And of course, the Pine City game was a 6-3 win in regulation. But I know when we had Coach Hanowski come up to join us after the win against Pine City, you could see the disappointment on his face. He was extremely disappointed by the fact that the Flyers took that many penalties in the game. Yes, they won 6-3, but they kind of got drawn into a few situations there in the second and third period that he wasn't overly excited about.
Oh yeah, you forgot. You didn't get to witness this before.
Well,
this is what happened
I heard
in
about
Alexandria.
it, so I have 2 flashlights. Do you need one?
I'm good. I'll
Okay.
use my
All right.
phone for
I
that.
carry 2 with, just in case a broadcast partner might need one.
Yes, we have the lights are out here. The cell phones are using what they're going to use for the lights coming out for the Flyers
It's like
when they come out in
a
just
Christmas
a moment.
vigil. That's what it looks like, a Christmas vigil at church.
Unfortunately, it's light outside, so it's pretty light
Oh.
in here still. But anyway, kind of a cool thing to do anyway. So, and kind of a new thing they got when the Flyers come out now. They have a new song, an entrance song is what they
okay.
have, is what they're doing as the lights are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let's take a look at the starting netminders for today's game. And with that, here's Jamie Pettit.
For the Sauk Rapids Storm, they are 2-4 this season. They have wins against Becker, Big Lake, and Wilmer. Their 4 losses to Chisago Lakes, Hutchinson, Fergus Falls, and the Alexandria Cardinals, 9-4 on Tuesday night. The senior Cole Young will start in goal. He's 1-4, a 5.25 goals against average, with a save percentage of 84.7%. The senior, he wears number 35 for the Sauk Rapids Storm. Cole Young will be to our right in period 1. For the undefeated 7-0 Little Falls Flyers, DJ Kicker will start his 7th game of the season. He's perfect, 6-0, 310 minutes, a 3.5 goals against average, with a save percentage of 85.8%. In the 6-3 win over Pine City on last Thursday night, Kicker was 16 of 19. DJ Kicker, the senior, he wears number 1 for the Little Falls Flyers. He'll be to our left in period 1.
All right, let's send it downstairs. I know there's a sub today for Kevin Sawada. We'll send it down there.
At wing, number 25, Jet Wheeler. Number 5, Easton Portner. And at center, number 1, Luke Pacala. The Storm, our head coach is Brady Degagne. And now your starting lineup for the Little Falls Flyers. In goal, number 1, DJ Kicker. At defense, number 20, Colin Cray. And number 22, G. Moore. At wing, number 19, Hayden Johnson. Number 27, Matt Philippi. And at center, number 18, Carter Othout. The head coach of the Flyers, Mr. Joey Hanowski.
I'm taking that was Carmen Johnson that is doing the PA announcing today. All right, we will take our final break as we have the national anthem, and when we come back, we drop the puck here on Flyer Media Productions. Little Falls taking on Sauk Rapids in boys high school hockey this afternoon here on Flyer Media Productions. And this is a Section 5A matchup. So it's a big game for both teams this afternoon. And with our final comments, here's Jamie Pettit.
Well, let's take a look at the shots on goal department for the Little Falls Flyers. 30 or more shots on goals for Little Falls in 6 of their 7 games. If you look at their opponents, 30 or more shots on goal just twice this year. So you might surmise if Little Falls exceeds 30 shots on goal and they keep their opponents to less than 30 shots on goal, the Flyers have an excellent chance to go 8-0 with a win this afternoon over Sauk Rapids.
The other thing, too, that we've noticed this year, for the first 7 games, they already have 42 goals. They're averaging 6 goals a game. And I know you have the stats from last year, and last year's team obviously is a totally different team in that, but how many total goals did they have last year as a team? Now that's going to include the playoffs too, but I want to say it was just over 100 goals, if that, at the most.
It's 77 goals, but remember there's only 20 games played.
I understand that.
Because of the shortened season.
But the average, though, in that is under
3.9.
Under 4 goals a game. So definitely the explosiveness this Flyer team has had, at least in the first 7 games. We're underway with high school hockey this afternoon on Flyer Media Productions. Quick shot on net there by Othout, and the save made by the netminder, and that being Cole Young. Young to our right, to our left is DJ Kicker. Getting his 7th start this year, his kicker in the net. Here's Colin Cray up to center ice. Goes off the tape that time of Eitenauer, and that being Caleb Eitenauer. There's Caleb and Ethan, both juniors. Out at center ice now. Eitenauer overskates it actually, picks it back up, throws it over to his defensive partner Noah Jensen. He'll dump it in across the Flyer line. Picked up here by Cooper. Touched there briefly by Walensky. That'll wave off the icing. Eitenauer goes back behind his own net. Played a minute of action here so far. No score. Colton Johnson able to keep it in at the left point. Bouncing puck towards the netminder. Knocked down there though by Patterson. Played up to the line, and it'll be flipped out to center ice. Moved ahead here now. This time touched there by White as he got hit into the boards pretty heavily just below us here. Loose puck picked up here by Little Falls, goes off the skate of Gendro and comes back down into the Storm end. Going back to pick it up is Patterson. He'll send it around the boards. He'll get the reverse pass back to Patterson. Tries to get past there, Matt Philippi, unable to do so. Now in the corner, it's Patterson once again with it. Still in that right corner behind his own netminder, Young. Knocked down there by Philippi, can't hang on to it though. It'll be come to the line, not out yet. Othout is able to drag it down now, gets it to Philippi. Philippi on the left wall. Philippi now back to Othout. Othout trying to feed it in front. It actually goes off one of the defenseman's sticks and right in to the glove of the netminder, and that was Tell's stick. It went off of, and Young had to make the save.
Here's the line chart for the undefeated Little Falls Flyers. Carter Othout centers Matt Philippi and Hayden Johnson. It's Luke Avery between Isaiah Gendro and Joey Lewinsky. Garrett Lindberg centers the third line. Alec Lindberg on the left, Hudson Philippi on the right. 4 defensemen for the Flyers this afternoon. George Moore, Colin Cray, Colton Johnson, Matthew Cooper. Aaron Murad will be sprinkled into the lineup throughout the day with kicker starting in goal. Reed Schultz is the backup.
Hayden Johnson with a quick shot there. Young makes the save. Now a chance down low as they tried to find Hayden Johnson. It's intercepted over there by the Storm defense, and Jensen plays it back out to center ice. Shots are already 4-0 Flyers. We're scoreless here early on in the first. Sauk Rapids will dump it in. DJ Kicker gives it a touch behind the net, and then it'll be played up here to the line by Colin Cray. Knocked down, however, there that time by Portner. Portner digging after it, and it's played back out to center ice here by Little Falls. Jensen now moves it ahead for the Storm, taken away there by Moore. Moore back at his own end. Sends it out now to Gendro. Moves ahead now to Walensky. Walensky left wing side, lost the puck there. Avery in the slot area, couldn't pass it to him. Walensky has it on the end wall behind the netminder Young. In the corner now, Avery going after it there along with one of the Sauk Rapid players, that's Polemski. Peplinski trying to clear it out of there, also getting some help now that time there from McDonald. And it's played to the line and then out, brought back in offsides here on the Flyers.
Brady DeGagne is in his second season behind the Sauk Rapids Storm bench. He's a 2006 graduate from Sauk Rapids. Want to thank them for the nice professional line chart that they provided to us before the game as we were preparing for our broadcast with pronunciations.
Yeah, that helps too.
What a broadcaster-friendly sheet that they handed us before the game.
Now we just have to say them right.
Well, that's right. We have no excuses.
Exactly.
It's our own fault if we get the pronunciations wrong this afternoon.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, by the way.
Well, I'm just as guilty.
Here's Avery coming across the line now for the Flyers. Gendro along that goal line extended, couldn't get a shot off net. Now picked up here by Walensky, shot on net, save made there by Young. And Cole Young makes his 6th save already of the first period.
Joey Walensky looking for his 2nd goal of the season. He checks in with the goal and 5 assists for 6 points. Picked up a loose puck, rifled the shot, and Young was able to make the save in the Storm net. 5-0. Flyers have the early shots on goal advantage.
Face off, won here by the Storm back at their own end. Controlled here by Patterson. Trying to clear it out to center, he does. Played right in front of the Sauk Rapids bench right now. That's Hudson Philippi digging after it. Moved ahead there by Christensen. And Christensen then will get some help now coming across the line. Eitner with a shot there. Eitenauer, that is. He goes wide, as that was Ethan Eitenauer. He's on that third line with Christensen and Ethan Daniels. Evan Daniels, that is. Now Eitenauer centered a pass out in front as he was looking in front that time there for Daniels and just goes over the cage. Picked back up here by Little Falls in their own end. This is George Moore with it. Moore behind his own net. Gives it over here now to Alec Lindberg. Passes it over to Hudson Philippi, and Philippi will slap it in. He'll go off on a change. 12-12 to go here in the first. We're scoreless. Puck deflected. This should be icing here, as it was last touched by Sauk Rapids, and it will. It'll go back down in the Storm end with 12:05 to go in the first. No score.
That puck rolled off the top of the helmet of Jet Wheeler, the left wing on the first line, down the length of the ice, and the Storm called for icing. Be a face-off in Sauk Rapids' zone to the left of senior goaltender Cole Young.
He's not a big kid either. Was he 5'10", 140?
5'10", 140 is what the roster tells us.
I mean, got a little bit of height, but not a lot of size. So, of course, DJ Kicker on the other side, not a very tall kid either. Played up to the line, out to center ice here by the Storm. Picked back up by Matt Philippi. Of course, Matt joined the 100-point club the week when they had a couple of games in that Alexandria win. And here's a shot that comes on DJ Kicker. He makes the save. And coming up in the first intermission, we'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I want to thank Mark Deal for building a graphic for the members of the 100-point club, so we'll talk about that between the first and second period as Philippi became the 22nd member of the club against Alexandria. That 7-6 dramatic overtime win.
A game you missed, by the way.
Yeah, well, I saw it on Flyer Media Productions. Though.
Yeah. All sorts of stuff going on up here that day.
Yes.
Out at center ice. Picked up here now by Pakala. Pakala wearing the number 1, which normally is reserved for goaltenders.
Typically,
but
yes.
He is the first line center and gets to wear that. Kind of curious to see how that all came about. Should have asked Coach Degani about that. Got another icing call coming up here.
I don't know. I'm not been involved too much in jersey orders, but typically you kind of reserve that and order it as a larger size for a goaltender, and then typically look at something in the 30s for another goaltender.
Yep.
And then you order sizing accordingly.
So I don't know
That's
how many.
my best explanation.
I don't know how many number 1s
Yeah.
I've ever seen on a roster that are a skater, not a goalie. There's a shot towards the net, save and made. I believe that went through. Shot was taken there by Cray. Behind the net now, trying to pass it on in front that time was Gendro, and he had Avery. Now Walensky has it the right circle. That hit traffic and bounces around, and George Moore got crunched up along the boards, and a big hit that time there by Will White. Back the other way comes White, shot on net, and getting a piece of that one, and a save made there by DJ Kicker, his second save of the game, but a big hit by Will White on George Moore, and Moore looks like he's okay. He's out there.
Moore got absolutely clobbered inside the blue line within the Storm zone.
Legal hit. Gotta have your head on a swivel. That was the biggest hit of the afternoon so far early on here as we play the opening 7 minutes and we're scoreless. And icing is going to be the call with 10:01 to go here in the first.
Well, George Moore's been on a hot streak for the Little Falls Flyers. He's got 4 goals in his last 2 games, including 2 goals in 15 seconds to tie the game against Alexandria, which eventually went to overtime, and his defensive partner, Colin Cray, got the game winner shorthanded for Little Falls. So Moore, senior defenseman for the Little Falls Flyers, he's a captain, 4 goals in his last 2 games, and he just got hammered hard on that last shift.
Assistant coach John Morgan, which also deals with the defense, asked him, "You're okay?" And it looks like George said, "Yep, I'm fine." We'll watch that just to be careful. Here's an opportunity now here by Othout. Right circle. Othout gets to the forehand. Trying to get it over, but a hot pass there, hard to handle, but Johnson has it. Now to the Cooper. Trying to tip it in front. There's Othout. Turnaround shot save made there by Young. Another shot on net. And Young makes the save there as that second shot came off the senior captain Hayden Johnson's stick.
That first line for the Flyers, Othout's a sophomore, Matt Philippi a junior, Hayden Johnson a senior. Hayden Johnson distributes the puck nicely for the Flyers. He's got 3 playmakers this season.
One-time shot there, and did it go through the 5-hole? It did, but it didn't go into the net. As the shot from Philippi went through the net, the 5-hole of the netminder, Young, and then just came trickling out the far side. Otherwise, Matt Philippi would have added to that 100-point club total, which is at 103 right now. So far coming in, Matt, 13 goals, 10 assists, and you had number 14 of the year. 9 minutes to go here in the first. Still no score. Colton Johnson gives it off now to Cooper. Over to Hayden Johnson, rink-wide pass to Philippi, left wing side. Here comes Philippi. Nice pass to Colton Johnson. He shoots, he scores. And it's 1-0 Flyers. Matt Philippi with a great pass, as you'll see it here on the replay.
It starts with a pass from Hayden Johnson up to Philippi, down the left wing boards, taps it across, and a nice job to make the deposit into the Storm net from Colton Johnson to give the Little Falls Flyers a 1-0 lead. Hayden Johnson up to Matt Philippi, over to Colton Johnson, and the Flyers strike first. They're up 1-0.
And Mom Carmen's going to get to announce her son as a goal scorer.
50 of the first period, number 17, Colton Johnson. With the assist to number 27, Matt Philippi. Johnson from Philippi at 8:50.
Well, so far it's
And
still
Hayden
and
Johnson
it'll be Hayden
at
Johnson
8:10
too.
of the first period. And for Colton Johnson,
second of the year.
Second of the year.
Yeah.
Boy, nice job by Matt Philippi. He could have took the shot. Instead, Johnson was a better option, slipped it across, and he had just a wide open, gaping net to put the puck into. You might have even been able to put that one in, Hershey.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know if I probably wouldn't have been.
75% chance.
Well, I don't think I would have caught up to the area where I needed to be. I would have still been struggling at the blue line.
You'd have been winded.
I probably would have
been. With an inhaler.
I would have been. Well, yeah. We won't go there, okay? Out at center ice. Dump back in. What I was going to say, though, Colton Johnson actually, at the end of the warm-up session, the guys, they kind of like to use their stick and flip, it up on the stick, and then they can just, instead of picking up with their hand and putting the puck into the, 5-gallon pail bucket, they try to flip it up and then flip it in. Well, he had a heck of a time. He couldn't do it.
Okay.
He was unable to do it today.
Struggling with
He was struggling, but obviously he had no problem figuring out how to put the puck in the net.
Well, when you get a nice pass from Philippi, there's no problem.
So if he watches this back, he's going to laugh probably, because I did watch him do that as this was happening. Here's a chance down low, and a save made there as Alec Lindberg nearly had his first varsity goal. Held in by Cooper. 1-0 Flyers lead. 7:25 to go in the first. The Flyers are buzzing once again. Your penalty coming up here. And once it's touched here by the Flyers, we're going to have a hooking call, I believe.
Time of the penalty, 9:45 of the first period. It's against Sauk Rapids.
No, it's against the Flyers.
It's against the Flyers, okay. Check that.
Alec Lindberg will be in the box, 2 minutes for hooking.
Lindberg, 2-minute minor for hooking, 9:45 of the first period. Sauk Rapids to the power play for the first time this afternoon.
I got him down for 20 of 25, if that's correct, for 20% on the power play. The Flyers, 75.8% on the penalty kill, 25 of 33, and the big note is 5 shorthanded goals already this season.
Flyers have surrendered 6 power play goals in their last 2 games.
Yeah, they've given up a lot. They gave up, obviously, they gave up the 3.
4 against Alec.
Yeah, 4, I should say. 3, though, in the major penalty.
Yes.
In the opening.
Yep, that's right.
5 or 6 minutes of the game, I guess.
So 4 total against Alec, and then Pine City got 2 on the power play last Thursday in the Flyers' 6-3 win.
Seems so long ago. It actually has been.
That we went to Pine City?
Yeah.
It seems so long ago because it took us forever to get home. That's why.
I tell you what, though, it's a nice rink, though.
Yeah. The accommodations were fine. Other than you deserve a lot of credit. It took a pretty big effort on your part to get us on the air that night with all the cable you had to string and folding chairs and units outside and extension cords.
I know, it was a lot of work, but we got it on.
But you did a good job, and then it took a little while to get cleaned up after the game was over.
Yeah. But we got back before the bus even got back.
We did. Either they got lost or they took what they felt was a shortcut. I'm not sure. That was strange. We left a half hour after they did.
I know. I have no idea what. Of course, I heard it was a quiet bus ride back. There's a shot on net just wide, and the power play here for another 50 seconds for the Storm. Picked up here now by Christensen. His shot knocked down in front by Moore, and Moore will send it off the glass in front of the spectators and all the way down. Good afternoon, Saturday afternoon crowd here. Of course, there's basketball going on at the high school too, so a lot of events happening here in Little Falls this weekend. So not too bad a crowd for today's game. 25 seconds left here on the power play. 5:35 to go in the first. Flyers lead 1-0 on the goal scored by Colton Johnson, assists by Philippi, and eventually it'll be Hayden Johnson too. There's a shot taken in traffic in front of DJ Kicker. He was interfered with there. Play continues on. Flyers will clear it the length of the ice. It actually comes right in on the netminder Young, as that one kind of curved right in. Kind of like a long putt. Now back, here comes across the line. 5-on-5 hockey. Pakula goes behind the net. Try to center on front, and somehow it's stuck in off maybe the back of the leg of DJ Kicker, and we are tied at 1. It's an even strength goal, and I'm not even going to speculate on who gets it.
It looks like it might be Portner as he was leading the line rush back to the Sauk Rapids Storm bench. As we get a chance to look at the replay here on Flyer Media Productions, it looks like it ping-pongs around at the side of the net and then poked in.
Yeah, Portner was the one.
By Portner.
At 11:55 the first period, number 5, Easton Portner. With the assist to number 20, Nolan Thiel, and number 1, Luke Pacala.
So the assists go to Tell and Pakala. And the goal scored by Portner. And for Easton, that is his 6th of the year. It's an even strength goal, and he leads the team in scoring and also leads the team in goals. Flyers back the other way now as the puck tangled up there in one of the defenseman's skates. And Eitenauer plays it back out to center ice. We're tied at 1. Coming across the line, Hayden Johnson with a shot, Young with a save. And he holds on with 4:24 to go here in the first, tied at 1.
11:55 of the first period, the Storm tie at 6th of the season for Portner. First assist, Tell. Second assist, Pakala. Portner from Tell and Pakala, 11:55 of period 1. We're tied at 1. Portner had 3 goals in the 9-4 loss to Alexandria on Tuesday night. He gets the first of the afternoon for Sauk Rapids.
Now when Karam's off the backboard, and it'll be Young that'll cover it up, and then we get a little jostling between the sticks of Avery for the Flyers.
It was a tough situation for goaltender DJ Kicker. That puck was just ping-ponging around, and then it was Portner kind of sneaking in there to knock it into the net.
I think it might have went off the back of Kicker's leg. Didn't you kind of think that it...
There was a lot of commotion in front of the net.
His Portner was behind the net almost. The goal line extended and just kind of put it towards the net, and I think it went off the back right leg of DJ and then into the net. Out at center ice, here's Moore. He'll come across the line. Moore on the left side and nearly got taken out again that time over there by Peplinski. Behind the net now, and Moore's coming off the ice. I don't know if he's shaken up on that one. Shot high, save made there as Avery took that shot. Now Colton Johnson had to scramble from the bench, is able to keep it in. Gendro centering a pass out. Nobody there, though, except for the Storm, and they'll clear it the length of the ice. They'll wave off the icing, though. 3:30 to go in the first, tied at 1. Shots are 13 for the Flyers, 9 for the Storm. Hayden Johnson, rink-wide pass too strong for Othow, and that'll be icing.
That'll be waved off.
They waved off the icing.
Our linesman, local linesman John Majurley, waved it off.
Okay, back to the point it comes. Shot taken there. That one tipped in front there by Othow. It goes wide. Now it's Philippi. Shot. Save made there by the glove of Young, and it'll be out to center ice now. This is Ethan Eitenauer, third liner coming in. Had the puck taken away, though. Good job there defensively, Matt Cooper. Oath out now over to Johnson. Trying to slide it over to Colton Johnson from Hayden, his brother, just outside the blue line. But dumped back in once again here by the Storm. Pakala now picked up here by Portner. His shot into the glove of DJ Kicker. And the senior captain who scored the goal for Sauk Rapids. Save is made by Kicker.
Portner had it in the high slot. The left-handed shot was able to sling one towards the net, and Kicker made the save. 15-10, Little Falls has the shots on goal advantage.
2:30 to go, pass too strong. This should be an icing call, and it will be. And go against the Flyers. They're trying the stretch pass that time to Matt Philippi.
And they were trying the stretch pass, and Philippi couldn't get his stick on it at the Sauk Rapids Storm blue line, and Little Falls, as a result, called for icing.
Face off in the left circle to the right of the netminder DJ Kicker with 2:27 to go, tied at 1. George Moore back out there. That's good to see. Moore gets it up to Philippi. Touch there by Moore, goes off his tape. And, ooh, big hit here down below that time, as that was Wheeler coming over and putting a hit on Othow. Played up to the line and out to center ice. Knocked back in by Little Falls. 2 minutes to go here in the first, tied at 1. Poked out to center, picked up by Cray. Now it's Hayden Johnson. Johnson with a shot, and off the blocker pad of Young. Back to the point it comes to Cray. Intercepted by the Storm. Collin able to keep it in with the glove and then throws it down deep. Goes all the way around the boards to the right wing side. Tipped up there on the line by Jensen. Intercepted here by Johnson. Now Olthout with a shot on that. Young makes the save, then tries to find it. Can't put the glove on it to get a whistle. Held in at the right point by Moore. Now over to Cray. Pass now to Olthout. Olthout slides it over in the slot. He had Philippi there, but just slid it behind him. And that net was wide open on the backside. Weaving his way in center ice, Hayden Johnson, make sure everybody gets on side. Now they say it wasn't, and now actually they say it's an icing call instead with 1:15 to go here in the first, tied at 1.
Little Falls only plays 4 defensemen. George Moore, Colin Cray, Colton Johnson, and Matthew Cooper. If you'll notice on the back of their helmet, it says, handle with care, we only play 4. They can't afford an injury. Not uncommon in high school hockey to see a 4 defenseman rotation, but you really get into a bind if there's an injury or a 5-minute major.
Absolutely. And they do have, I guess you'd have Aaron Murad as a possibility. Dylan Young would be another one.
I was told Avery might also work out in that position.
In the defensive spot?
Yes.
1 minute to go here in the first. And we're tied at 1. Flyers got the first one on the board, and the equalizer came about 4 minutes later. Back the other way comes Cooper on the rush. Passes over to Gendro, scores! Matt Cooper over to Isaiah Gendro, and Gendro has his 5th of the season.
For Isaiah Gendro, he has now scored in 4 consecutive games as the Flyers come with speed through neutral as Cooper had jumped up into the play. Good pass across to Gendro into the back of the Storm net. And
into intermission number 1. We talked about this in the first period. We talked about number 27, the junior Matt Philippi, as he became the 22nd member of the 100-point club.
That's a nice professional graphic up on our screen on Flyer Media Productions, congratulating Matt Philippi, the 22nd member of the Little Falls Flyers 100-point club.
And of course, Matt started out as a 8th grader, and now in his junior year as he comes into tonight's game as number 21 on the list with 103 points. Now he's tied Joey Cotton at number 20 as he's got an assist already in today's game. And as you see a list there of the 100-point club members.
And you can see obviously some familiar names in the archives for the Little Falls Flyers. Ben Hanowski is the state's all-time leading scorer, 196 goals, 209 assists for 405 points. There's Ben Newman in the 5th slot. He's an assistant coach for the Little Falls Flyers. He's got 160 career points. Joey Hanowski's 8th on the Little Falls Flyers all-time scoring list, 85 goals, 58 assists for 143 points. And that list goes on. All those Flyers were extremely successful playing for Coach Kuchar.
And you got a guy in Wesley Witashik that's joined us up here a couple times. He's on the
He's
Zamboni
the
right now.
Zamboni.
He's a 100-point clubber with 107
Philippi's going to
points.
leave him in the dust here pretty quick. It's not going to take much more for Matt Philippi to pass Wesley Witashik. And of course, Wesley had a great career for the Little Falls Flyers, oftentimes on Ben Hanowski's line.
Absolutely. One other thing with Matt Philippi, by the way, he actually is up for a nomination to be the Minnesota Hockey Hub Performer of the Week. And there, I believe, are 5 or 6 other individuals in the running for that. And as last I saw, he was right now, Matt Philippi was leading in that category as the Minnesota Hockey Hub Performer of the Week. And voting does still continue until noon on Sunday. So if you're obviously watching on Flyer Media Productions on YouTube, you can see there the code, the email,
the URL,
the URL,
yep.
I guess is what it would be, the URL code. And if you would look for that, you can actually vote for him and continue to make sure he's still in the #1 spot.
Yeah, great job with the graphics. Congratulations to Matt Philippi, 22nd member of the Little Falls Flyers 100-point club. And as I mentioned, all 22 of these guys on that 100-point club list at one time or another played for Tony Kuchar, who was the head coach of the Little Falls Flyers for 28 seasons.
Absolutely. So congratulations to Matt, and good luck to Matt for that honor. Hopefully he'll be the player of the week. And once again, you have up until tomorrow at noon to do the voting. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back in roughly about 4 minutes, and we'll give you the first period summary, and we'll get you set up for period number 2 after 1 period to play once again here at the Exchange Arena. It is Little Falls leading Sauk Rapids 2-1. Welcome back to the Exchange Arena. Period number 2 going to start here in just a couple of minutes. So at the summary of the first period, as the Flyers lead 2-1, here's Jamie Pennant.
The Little Falls Flyers are undefeated. They're ranked 4th in the most recent Let's Play Hockey Class A poll. Ahead of them, Hermantown, Warroad, and Matamidi. Matamidi and Hermantown are scheduled to play this afternoon. I think it was a 3 o'clock face-off, Hermantown at Matamidi. Interested to see how that turns out. But
no score yet on that game.
No score.
Yep.
Okay. 2-1. Little Falls has the lead over the Sauk Rapids Storm here at the Exchange Arena after one period of play. The Storm are 2-4 this year. First goal of the first period at 8:10. And we'll take a look at it here on Flyer Media Productions. Hayden Johnson slings it up ahead to Matt Philippi. Philippi across wide open was Colton Johnson into the Storm net to give the Little Falls Flyers a 1-0 lead. Second goal of the season for Colton Johnson. It reads Colton Johnson from Matt Philippi and Hayden Johnson. 8:10 of the first, 1-0 Little Falls. But the Storm would tie it at 11:55 of the first. Sixth goal of the season for Easton Portner. As the puck just kind of ping-ponged around, and then at the side of the net it was flushed into the net by Easton Portner, his 6th of the season, to tie the game at 1. First assist, Nolan Tell. Second assist, Luke Pakala. Portner from Tell and Pakala, 11:55 of the first period, and the Storm and Flyers were tied at 1. But late in period 1, 16:15 to be exact, it was Isaiah Gendro with his 5th of the season, as Cooper had jumped up into the rush for the Little Falls Flyers, fought his way through a couple defenders, slipped it across to Gendro into the back of the Storm net to give the Little Falls Flyers a 2-1 lead. 5th of the season for Isaiah Gendro, as he's now scored in 4 consecutive games. Single assist Cooper. Gendro from Cooper, 16:15 of the first, and the Flyers took a 2-1 lead into the first period. Intermission. Shots on goal, 19 for Little Falls, 10 for Sauk Rapids. DJ Kicker, senior, tending net for the Little Falls Flyers, 9 of 10. The senior Cole Young, tending net for Sauk Rapids. Good period for him. He was 17 of 19. Just one penalty in period 1. It was whistled to Little Falls, and the Storm 0 for 1 on the power play. It's Little Falls 2, Sauk Rapids 1 after 1.
So there is no score in that game, as you mentioned, between Hermantown and Matamidi, that game being played at the St. Croix Rec Center. The shots in that game right now, at least the last reported, was Hermantown 11, Matamidi 6.
Some feel Hermantown is good enough to be ranked number 1 in AA. No idea whether that's true or not, but it's a pretty strong unit they have up there in the Duluth area.
Well, a team that went from single A to AA, which won the state title, and Gentry Academy, they're in action today taking on Southwest Christian Richfield, and it's 6-0 already in that in the first period. So they're rolling pretty good.
And Southwest Christian is ranked in the top 10 this week in the most recent Let's Play Hockey Class A poll. They're from Section 2A. Gentry Academy doing a number on them.
White Bear Lake, a winner earlier against St. Cloud at the MAC by a score of 7-2. Wilmer, a 6-0 win today over Redwood Valley. And maybe a surprise score here, Alexandria 2, East Grand Forks 0 after 1 up in East Grand.
That is a surprise. East Grand Forks lost earlier this week to Warroad 6-3. They are considered, East Grand Forks, one of the favorites in 8A. Alexandria, of course, would be considered a favorite in 6A. I would say with the Fergus Falls Otters and possibly Northern Lakes, Alexandria is off to a slow start this year. They did beat Sauk Rapids 9-4 on Tuesday night, but that would be a signature win for Josh Myers' Alexandria Cardinals if they can win in East Grand Forks this afternoon.
Only one period so far of that, and the shots are 12-8 in favor of East Grand. All right, second period is underway. We'll get some other out-of-town scores here in intermission number 2. 2-0, 2-1 is our score here. Flyers lead this one as they had a 1-0 lead and then tied up at 1-1 and then regained the lead late to make it 2-1. Colin Cray unable to keep it in the zone, and we'll get a offside call here just in about 36 seconds into the second.
We talked about Matt Philippi in between the first and second period, 22nd member of the Little Falls Flyers 100-point club. He's second in the state in goals scored behind Parker Mitchell from Mora. Mora's Parker Mitchell has 14, Matt Philippi second with 13.
Well, and at first, you know, he had gotten, there's an argument here between the coach and one of the referees about the change.
They're not happy about the change.
So obviously the visitors have to change before the home team.
Absolutely, Coach DeGodnier not at all happy on the Sauk Rapids Storm bench.
So I think we'll have to watch that as it maybe develops here. So back to action here. Flyers trying to play it out to center ice. Knocked down there by Pakala. Played now to Portner. Portner tied up there by one of the Flyer players. That was Colton Johnson. Now it's Portner trying to get it back to the point. Shot taken high on the netminder kicker. He makes the save. That came off the stick of Patterson. And getting the stick in there was Cooper. Tripped up a Storm player. That possibly could have been a penalty. Now in the front there that time is Colton Johnson's got a man down. That's being Wheeler, and maybe we'll get a penalty here. We're gonna have something coming up as there's a stick dislodged, and that's that long stick of Isaiah Gendro. And it might be our first penalty of the afternoon against Sauk Rapids, and it looks like Portner's going to the box for the penalty.
Slashing minor in the neutral zone. A minute and 23 seconds into the second period. Portner slashing. Little Falls to the power play. First time this afternoon. This season, 7 power play goals.
7 of 29 for 24.1%. I'll get it right. That 9-day breaks made me even a little bit off.
Well, coming into this game, Sauk Rapids in 6 games had only been whistled for 11 penalties. So they have not spent much time in the penalty box this season.
There's a chance down low by Othout as the pass came there from Hayden Johnson. So that first team out there of Hayden Johnson, Othout, and Philippi, along with Cray and Moore. Moore has it right now. Plays it over to Othout. Othout tried to pass it there to Philippi, and it's flipped out to center ice, and it'll roll in on the netminder, DJ Kicker for Moore. Good pressure put on there that time by Polimsky. And it'll be played up to center ice here now by Hayden Johnson. Left wing side picked up here by Philippi. Drops it back now to Hayden Johnson. Johnson over to the high slot here. Moore with a wrist shot, hit traffic in front and cleared out the puck. 50 seconds to go here on the power play for the Flyers, their first of the afternoon. Philippi to Moore, and that one tickled off the side of the net. Got the fans excited as they are on the far side. Now falling down is Carter Othout on his own will. Holding it in at the right point is Cooper. Plays it off the wall to Philippi. 30 seconds left on the power play. Philippi now down to Othout. Othout still with it. Now a one-time shot there by Cray was knocked down, however, in front. Now Cooper trying to keep it in the zone. He does. Gets it over to Johnson. Hayden Johnson now with it. 16 seconds left on the power play. Pass over to Philippi. Shoots. He scores. Wow. And a power play goal for Matt Philippi. Getting closer and closer to Wesley Watashik on that list. He might even get past him today the way he's playing with 2 points already. And the Flyers now lead 3-1 on the power play goal.
14th goal of the season for Philippi. Nice job on the half wall. Hayden Johnson. One-time shot from Matt Philippi. Beats Young in the Storm net to give Little Falls a 3-1.
And number 19, Hayden Johnson.
So Matt Philippi, that's his 49th career goal. So he's one shy of 50 career goals. And now with the goal and the assist, it puts him now at 105 points on the all-point club, the 100-plus point club. And he's creeping up now as he goes now. The next in line would be the 107, and that actually is kind of a log jam there with Austin Bjorgi, which I saw earlier today.
All you have to do is look on the screen. Mark's got it up there for us.
Perfect. There you go. Yeah, Austin Bjorgi Lucas Jorgensen, Wesley Witashik, and Ben Nelson. So climbing up the ladder, as now he's secured the number 20th spot, as he doesn't share that anymore. Out at center ice, picked up here by Lindbergh, but Hudson Philippi was in on the play. He was tied up and never got out of the zone, and that's the reason for the whistle in the stoppage of play, but the Flyers now lead 3-1.
At 3:11 of the second period on the power play, 14th goal of the season from Matt Philippi, single assist Hayden Johnson. Philippi from Johnson, 3:11 of the second on the power play, 3-1 Little Falls, and Philippi's 14th goal of the season now ties him for the state lead with Mora's Parker Mitchell.
Yeah, I was going to go back with that point. You know, we had all those games early on, so you could see why he would be up there. But having 9 days off and a lot of teams able to catch up, and he's still up in that top spot, it shows that he is a force to be reckoned with this year.
He's now got 5 goals in his last 3 games.
And he's starting to get. Here's a shot by Hudson Philippi, his cousin, and he scores! So he saw his cousin score a goal, and he says, you know what? I need to score a goal because I haven't scored a varsity goal yet. So Hudson has his first varsity goal, and it's 4-1 Flyers.
A low shot from Hudson Philippi between the pads of Young as the Flyers break it up at center ice, and Hudson Philippi comes on, took a little wrist shot that went between the pads of Young into the back of the Storm net. Little Falls has a 4-1 lead as Hudson Philippi was able to retrieve that puck in the neutral zone.
In the second period, his first varsity goal, number 11, Hudson Philippi. Unassisted.
And for Hudson Philippi, he's going to do it his way. Love it.
That goes back to the Pine City game when James Hershey interviewed Hudson Philippi, and he told us
well, it's probably just going to be a 2-minute penalty, but along the boards there as Othout got hit from behind by Tell. I don't think this will be a 5, but it's in that gray area a little bit. Extra attacker is on for the Flyers as Sauk Rapids is going to go to the box at least for 2. Picked up here by Gendro, and now finally taken away there by Portner, and it will be a cross-check, so just a 2-minute penalty. And that's going to go against Nolan Tell.
Time of the penalty, 5:54 of the second period. Tell cross-checking Little Falls back to the power play. Flyers are 1 for 1 with the man advantage. Earlier in the period, Matt Philippi tallied 1 on the power play. And the official scoring for Little Falls is 4th goal of the game at 4:39. Hudson Philippi, first varsity goal unassisted.
So it's 4-1 our score. Flyers lead with 11 minutes to go here in the second, and a power play second of the afternoon. As Jamie mentions, 1 for 1 so far. Let's see if they can go 2 for 2. Moore with a shot. Cray rebound save made by Young. Picked up by Othout. Held in at the right point here by Moore. Gets it over down low to Philippi. Touched there by Othout. Now it's Cray. Cray at the top of the right circle to the right half wall. Leaves it off there. That time shot by Philippi. Saved by Young. Puck goes behind the net. Picked up here by Othout. Now in the corner. Now it's Philippi. Right side. Gets it back to George Moore. Now they move it to the left side to Hayden Johnson. Johnson left circle. Pass over now to Philippi. And that one off the side of the net. Back behind the net here, this is Othout trying to pick up that puck. Cray came in to help out. Now Moore gets over to Hayden Johnson, goes off his stick blade into the corner, and it'll be played up to the circle and out of the zone as Moore comes in. Now controlled here by Cray. Still a minute to go on the power play here for the Flyers. George Moore, high slide. That one blockered out of there that time by Young into the corner. Picked up by Hayden Johnson. Johnson still with it. Gets it to Moore now. Moore waiting, passes it into the corner, touched there by Othout. Back to Moore now. Moore had to go over his tape, and out to center ice it comes. And down to 40 seconds to go. A little give and go that time as it was Philippi to Othout. Othout goes behind the net, Minder Young. Othout still with it, now in the corner to Hayden Johnson. Johnson now centered it back over to Philippi. Same spot, same result, score! And it's 5-1. Flyers lead, second power play goal for Philippi. And Wesley Witashik's getting nervous now.
5-1 lead for Little Falls as Hayden Johnson again sends it across. This time Philippi stops it and takes a wrist shot into the opposite corner of the net to give the Flyers a 5-1 lead. He now leads the state in goals scored with 15, his second of the game. Another power play goal for Little Falls.
Falls, number 27, Nat Philippi, with the assist to number 18, Carter Oldfield.
And Isaiah Gendro scores! And it's a 7-1 lead.
It was just 11 seconds. 11 seconds apart, the Flyers score 6-1.
6-1 now.
As Gendro nets his second of the game, his sixth of the season.
And Isaiah Gendro doesn't want to be outdone by Matt Philippi today, I guess.
Falls, number 10, Isaiah Gendro, unassisted.
And Gendro's goal will be unassisted. And the Flyers now with a 6-1 lead had a 4-goal barrage here in period number 2. And they're still on the attack once again. Alec Lindbergh gets it back to the point now. Plays it to Johnson. Behind the net, Hudson Philippi's got a goal, his first career goal. Touch it. Now picked up here by Garrett Lindbergh. Lindbergh slides it behind the net. Binder and on the end wall. Picked up here that time by Tell. Here is now moving in. That was Garrett Lindbergh and just poked off his stick at the last second. Back to Cooper now. His shot goes wide. Picked up here by Garrett Lindbergh now. Back to Cooper. Trying to keep it in was Johnson, and I don't believe he did. They say no, he didn't. It just came outside the zone. All right, Jamie, let's do some work.
Well, at 7:24 of the second period on the power play, Little Falls took a 5-1 lead. Matt Philippi's second of the game, 15th of the season. We got interrupted on the announcement. I think Hayden Johnson got the first assist, maybe a second assist to Carter Othout, as the Flyers sent it across, and there it is, their 5th of the game, as Hayden Johnson receives the assist. And then at just 11 seconds later, 7:35, Gendro unassisted, second of the game, 6th of the season.
Gendro just missed a hattie right there as his shot went high over the cage, but he had it right between the circles. Here's Gendro again. Now back to Colton Johnson, who's got a goal. Scored the first one, bounced it off, and that was trying to put it in that time was Joey Walensky. Gendro got hit pretty hard, and now the bodies are flying here as the Storm down by 5. They're not happy. Puck picked up here now by White. Will White now comes across. White now is taken out of the play nicely there by Colton Johnson. Picked up here by Luke Avery. Avery tries to get it out to center ice. Kruger had it for a short time. Now it's Cooper on the rush. Cooper comes across the line. Shot there, and that one goes just wide. Gendro is pinched up in the corner. Back to the point it comes. White sliding around. I think he was going to go off on a change. There should have been a penalty there on White. That was definitely an interference. Play continues on. And the
Little Falls scored. Your replay on Flyer Media Productions from Gendro, his 6th of the season, but 4 goals in 4 minutes and 24 seconds here in the second period as the Flyers have opened it up on the Sauk Rapids Storm.
And a 6-1 lead with 7 minutes to go here in the second. As those shots are 27-1. Only one shot for the Storm here in the opening 10+ minutes of period number 2. Played behind the net. That's Philippi trying to center it to Hayden Johnson. Just went off his tape. Moore is able to keep it in up on the dasher in the corner. Hayden Johnson goes into that. Added touch there. Now it's Othout getting there first. Portner trying to pick it away from Othout. He has it. And Othout just takes him to the boards. Back to the point it comes now. This is Cray. Gets it down low to Othout. Othout bumped up there by Tell and pushed to the ground. And Tell wants to come over and take a piece of Hayden Johnson in that corner. Johnson now with it. Gets it over to Philippi. Philippi has to go back and get it. Avoids the check at Tell. Philippi behind the net. Philippi centers it out. One-time shot there. Save made by Young. That coming off the stick of Carter Othout. And on the doorstep there, the assist. And it's 7-1 now, Little Falls. Somebody opened up the dam in Little Falls and let the water just run right out, as we've had 5 goals and nearly a number 6. There's a nice save by Young as that was tipped down low. And with those 3 goals, and Matt Philippi has now tied himself with Wesley Watashik and the other bunch of players that we had mentioned just not too long ago, as it puts him at 16 all-time now on the all-scoring list here for the Flyers. And he gets one more, he can get himself right above that, be number 15 already.
He's had a good afternoon. Boy, he likes to score in bunches, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And this will go the length of the ice. I didn't see his latest celly on the last one, but I think he's been trying to work on some of his celly performances.
Rehearsing those during his time off?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, he's got 7 goals in his last 3 games, and what a period for Philippi. Goals 14, 15, and 16. Also scoring here in the second period for Little Falls. First varsity goal for Hudson Philippi, and the second of the game for Isaiah Gendro.
That's all. I mean, almost, other than Gendro messing it up, it was a Philippi period so far. Hudson and Matt.
Gendro's on his way back to the Little Falls Flyers locker room.
Yeah, well, he was hit a couple of times, so hopefully he's okay. Back behind the netminder, kicker, taken here by George Moore.
Aaron Murad taking Gendro's spot on this shift.
So the play definitely has changed from, let's say, more finesse to definitely more physical play for the Storm.
Shots on goal in the game, 30 for Little Falls, 11 for Sauk Rapids. In this period, it's 11-1.
Yeah, they only had the 1. Out at center ice, Walensky. Akala had it for a short time. Here's Olthout. What a player, a couple players tied up there. There was Avery there and Kruger.
The 14s were all tangled up at center ice.
Yeah, they were. 3:40 to go here in the second. And that will go off the line. Actually, the referee skate, and that'll be an icing coming up here. I guess he doesn't call it as a touch, huh?
No, that doesn't factor into the sequence of events.
3:37 to go in the second. All Flyers in the second period. 5 unanswered goals. Actually, 6 unanswered goals since it was a 1-1 game.
And the next game for Little Falls will be Tuesday night at home against the Brainerd Warriors.
That's right. First time in, the last time they played was what, 2011-ish?
January 11, 2011.
Okay.
Put that on the notes for Tuesday night, and I thought, well, maybe that'll come up at some point this afternoon. So January 11, 2011, the last time Little Falls played Brainerd. A 3-2 win for Little Falls. Joey Hanowski had 2 goals in that game.
Well, that'll be a big game coming up, and just more of a rivalry game, too. It's good to have that rivalry back once again, too, I think, with Brainerd. And, of course, Brainerd had a huge win earlier this week, knocking off the Fergus Falls Otters in overtime, up in Fergus Falls, 5-4.
I watched that game at home on my TV.
Out at center ice, picked up here by Tell. He'll dump it in. Flyers will play it back out to neutral. Picked up here by the hat-trick guy. See if he dishes one off now. He gets it to Olthout. Olthout thought about sliding it back. Olthout gets it, shot on net. Young with the save. Rebound down low. That was Johnson, and Young will cover up with 2:32 to go here in the second, and a 6-goal lead for the Flyers at 7-1.
That first line for Little Falls, Carter Olthout, Matt Philippi, Hayden Johnson. Unofficially, I've got Hayden Johnson with 3 assists in this game, and that would be another playmaker for Hayden Johnson, his 4th of the season.
Puck picked up behind the net here now. Kuklak trying to clear it out to center ice. Picked up here by Moore instead. Moore with a shot, fired that one over the cage. The right side, it comes now to Craig. Craig tried to pass it, backhand attempt by Philippi. That's Hudson, save is made. Now it's Garrett Lindbergh with a shot, and that one was saved. And then the shot by Philippi goes wide. Hudson, Philippi in that third line out there with the Lindbergh brothers, Garrett and Alec. And it'll be played up to the line, but not out yet, as Garrett Lindbergh's able to play it in a little bit deeper once again. Inside of 2 minutes to go in period number 2, and all Little Falls in this one. They lead 7-1. Hudson Phillippe's got a goal already, looking for a second shot on net, saved by Young, and he holds on and will draw a face-off as the 35th shot coming his way, and you can tell he's starting to labor a little bit.
That is a good shift for the Little Falls Flyers third line. Garrett Lindberg, Alec Lindberg, Hudson Philippe. Garrett's a sophomore, Alec a senior, Hudson the junior. Of course, Hudson scored earlier in this period. Was the first goal of the season for the third line.
Still no score in that Hermantown-Matamidi game. They're already in the second period. Shots are 17-8. Hermantown leading Matamidi. Of course, that's the 1 and 2 teams, or I should say 1 and 3 teams, as Hermantown ranked number 1 in the latest Let's Play Hockey poll. Warroad at number 2, then followed by Matamidi 3, and then Little Falls at number 4. So no score in that game in the second period. We'll get you all caught up on the out-of-town scores coming up here in the second intermission. Down to the final minute here to go in period number 2. And it's been an excellent period for the Flyers. And they're averaging 6 goals a game. Well, now they're a little bit higher than that after having a 7-1 lead here. As Avery got hit from behind. Play continues on as Luke Avery now coming towards center ice. Trying to dive for that puck. Back the other way now. Dumped in here by the Storm and Wheeler. Kicker goes back, and a big hit there as Wheeler and Cooper collide. At neutral ice now, picked up here. It goes off the skate that time of Murad. Murad was going to the bench. Portner coming back. He's got a man on the left side. Tried to slide it over to him that time, but through the air. That was Pakala. And it comes back out to center ice. Moved ahead, Hayden Johnson. Now to Othout. Othout had it taken away. There's an injured player for the Sauk Rapids. They need to blow the whistle here, and they finally do with 8.3 seconds left. And that injured player trying to get a jersey. That might be Pakala. It'll be Luke Pakala, the junior forward. I believe it was number 1 that I saw sliding down there.
Just 8.3 seconds remaining in the second period. It's been a big period for the Little Falls Flyers. They've outscored the Storm 5-0. Shots on goal in this period, 16 for Little Falls, just 2 for Sauk Rapids. That's not Pakala because he just got up off his knees.
Okay, it's not then. Well, who's on his line out there? Because there was Portner's that's kneeling down there. Tella's there. So maybe Wheeler? Hard to say. I can't tell. Nope, that's actually, yeah, that might be.
I haven't got a good look at the number yet. Sorry, I can't help you.
Oh, now we can see on the TV screen. Is that a 6 or a 26? It might be. If it's 6, it'd be Daniels. Or is that?
I think it's Portner. The 5 you're seeing is the 5 from Wheeler.
That's what I'm saying.
So
yeah.
it's
it is
Portner.
Yep.
Portner's the injured Sauk Rapids Storm.
Yep.
So yeah, I could see the same 5, but that was the right side of the 25 for Wheeler. So Portner is the injured Sauk Rapids Storm player.
Wouldn't make a very good sideline reporter, would I? We'll leave that to professionals.
They probably, you know what? They probably have a crew of people that are working on the sidelines.
Now, I didn't get
just one.
I didn't get my note from my spotter back here to let me know who it was.
Where's your spotter
Where's
this
my
afternoon?
spotter at?
Yeah, where's your spotter this afternoon? As we
got to do this all ourselves.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
As we hope Portner's okay for the Sauk Rapids Storm. He scored the Storm's lone goal back in the first period at 11:55.
Well, he's coming off in his own power. That's a good sign, at least. Now it's just become a. Oh, he's got some blood up on the right side of his face. So maybe part of that helmet or something, one of the screws in there or something, maybe rubbed up against that when he got hit.
So a face-off in the Storm zone to the left of Young. Young's had a busy period. 16 shots sent his direction, and 5 have eluded him.
So 8.3 seconds to go. Back to the point, held in there by Hayden Johnson. There's Matt Philippi with a second left. Pass over, tipped there, and in the net. Oh, they say no. As Carter Orthout put it past the netminder, but the officials waved it off and said no goal.
Well, they waved it off right away, and so it will not count. It would have been the 8th of the afternoon for Little Falls right as the horn sounds.
Yeah, for us here on Fly Media Productions, it'd be nice to see the replay, but I don't think we're going to be able to sync it up with the clock. Well, maybe we would.
Notice that the horn's back here at the Exchange Arena.
Yes,
the goal horn has been fixed.
Yes, the goal horn has been
and
fixed.
And it's went off 7 times this afternoon. We will have a look here.
Well,
on
we'll have a look, but we won't know the time right when the horn sounds.
Rolled up over the shoulder of Young, but the officials, they waved it off right away. They felt that the clock had hit triple zeros, and as a result, no goal for the Little Falls Flyers, but they got 5 earlier in the period. A dominating second period for the Little Falls Flyers. They take a 7-1 lead into the second period intermission, and third period will start in running time. All
right, let's take a break. I guess that's kind of been the theme the last couple Saturdays. We had that for Becker Big Lake, and we're going to have that here for Sauk Rapids Rice too. 7-1 is the score. Little Falls leads. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in roughly about 8 minutes or so. We'll give you that summary, and we'll give you some scores around the area too. Once again, Flyers lead 7-1 here on Flyer Media Productions. 2 periods complete here at the Exchange Arena in Little Falls. Our score, Little Falls 7, Sauk Rapids Rice 1. And with the second period summary, here's Jamie Pettit.
It was a big second period for the undefeated Little Falls Flyers. They're 7-0. The Sauk Rapids Storm are 2-4. Little Falls scores 5 in period 2 to take a 7-1 lead. First goal of the second period on the power play at 3:11. The first goal of the afternoon for Matt Philippi, his 14th of the season, with an assist to Hayden Johnson. Philippi from Johnson, his 14th of the season at 3:11 of the second period on the power play, and it gave Little Falls a 3-1 lead. It was 4-1 Little Falls at 4:39 of the second as the Storm had cleared the zone, and it was stolen at center ice by Hudson Philippi. A little wrist shot beat Young for the first varsity goal for Hudson Philippi. Hudson Philippi's first varsity goal at 4:39 in the second period gave Little Falls a 4-1 lead. Little Falls scores again at 7:24. This time it's a power play goal, and it's Philippi for the second time this afternoon as the puck was back behind. That's the Gendro goal. That's the Isaiah Gendro goal at 7:35 to make it 6-1. Prior to that, it was Philippi on the power play at 7:24. His second of the game, 15th of the season, with a single assist to Hayden Johnson. So Philippi from Johnson at 7:24, and there's the Gendro goal at 7:35, his second of the game, his 6th of the season. Gendro, 7:35 of the second of the game, 6th of the season, gave Little Falls a 6-1 lead. Final goal of the second period at 11:08. Matt Philippi completes the hat trick, his 16th goal of the season, as he came in, made a nice move, got to the goal line, extended, beat Young short side for his third of the game to give Little Falls a 7-1 lead. We'll take another look at Philippi getting by the defender, went to the forehand, beat Young short side, 7-1 lead for Little Falls. Third of the game for Philippi, single assist Colin Cray. Shots on goal in the second. 17 for Little Falls, 2 for Sauk Rapids. Through 2 periods, Little Falls has a 36-12 shots on goal advantage. Fairly quiet second period for the senior DJ kicker in the Little Falls Flyers net. He was 2 of 2. Cole Young, the senior in the Sauk Rapids net, was 12 of 17. Kicker through 2 periods, 11 of 12. Young through 2 periods, 29 of 36. 2 penalties in the second period, both to Sauk Rapids, and Little Falls scored 2 power play goals. This afternoon, the Flyers are 2 for 2 on the power play. Sauk Rapids 0 for 1 with the man advantage. 2 periods complete, and the Little Falls Flyers are in control. They lead 7-1.
Other scores out of town this afternoon. A final, Gentry a 6-0 win over Southwest Christian Richfield. As we mentioned, after 2 periods of play now, it is town meet eye nothing. That is after 2 periods of play. Final now, the Roseau Rams, a winner over Buffalo. They win by a score of 5-3 in that one. About 30-some miles south of us at the MAC, it is 4-2 right now. Cathedral leading Wadena. Wadena was down 2-0. They were able to tie it up to make it 2-2, but then back-to-back goals very quickly for St. Cloud Cathedral to give them the 4-2 lead right now as we speak. Other games going on. Mount Westaka, a team that the Flyers will see late in January here on a Saturday at the Exchange Arena. They're leading 2-1 over Chisago Lakes. And it is after 2 periods of play, Alexandria 2, East Grand Forks 1. There is a final from earlier today. It was River Lakes defeating Prairie Center by a score of 8-0. So some of the games that we have, some other scores of earlier. Delano was a 5-2 winner over Hutchinson. Hutchinson Tigers will be here in early January for a game that'll be on Flyer Media Productions. Also earlier today, Wilmer was a 6-0 winner over Redwood Valley. And as we mentioned in the first intermission, White Bear Lake a 7-2 win over the St. Cloud Crush. That down at the MAC earlier today. And St. Louis Park was a 4-1 winner today over the Orono Spartans. So Orono has been one of those teams they play good some days and then other days they don't play so well.
Yeah, Little Falls opened up the season at the Tria rink with a 6-5 overtime win over Orono. Goaltending change for Sauk Rapids. Goaltending change. Cole Young will be relieved by the sophomore Xander Parker to start the third period.
And I think the last score I saw, Fergus Falls was leading Otana by a score of 1-0. The Otters yesterday took on Rochester Century. Were down 2-0 in that game, but then bounced back and had a 6-2 win. And that's their bounce back win after their loss against Brainerd back on Tuesday.
The Otters are still my favorite in Section 6A.
You and I will get a chance to see them coming up in January, and that'll be a game on the road. So we'll be up at the school up there.
Are you taking the bus?
No, actually, I'll
Curious.
be in Foley that morning for dance, and then I'll leave dance and I'll go to Fergus Falls and take the 2-hour trek up there.
Okay.
No, I'm not taking the
I'm
bus.
just curious because there's been some issues taking the bus to Fergus Falls.
I'm taking the
delays, and I think there was one year you guys were delayed so much that I did the pregame interviews with Donahue and Kuchar.
Yep.
A couple of all-stars I had to interview before the game.
I was going to say, though, that both times that those incidents on the bus happened, Tony was not on the bus both times. So, you know.
That's right, he wasn't. I was sitting in the parking lot that day, I think with Majurley and Kuchar, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Save made there by Xander Parker, and then it's cleared up and out of play here as we are underway with the third period in running time.
And as long as it stays a 6-goal margin or greater, we will have running time. Flyers third line, Garrett Lindberg, Hudson Philippi, Alec Lindberg, and with Hudson Philippi's goal back in the second period, his first varsity goal, this line got their first goal of the season.
We'll see what happens here in the third period if we see maybe Joey playing a fourth line possibly out there too tonight. As they have the 6-goal lead out at center ice now. This is the captain that time, Jensen, and to take it away from him. Back the other way comes Moore. Moore moving in, shot taken there, and that one goes wide. Parker might have got a piece of that. Back to the point it comes now. There's a shot by Moore that is knocked down there. It's hit Christensen and carried into the corner. Jensen plays it out to the line, held in at the right point. Jensen has it once again, and that goes through everybody. And we get a whistle and a stoppage of play as we're at 15-10 and counting in running time of this one, and a 7-1 lead. I know that Mark has a graphic there of the games that are upcoming on Flyer Media Productions. Our next broadcast will be on Tuesday night when the Flyers will take on the Brainerd Warriors. And then after that, it'll be the first of the year. You'll have the Bemidji and Hutchinson games on Flyer Media Productions. Of course, the Flyers will be in action for their holiday tournament, but there'll be no coverage on Flyer Media Productions, or for that matter, on Little Falls Radio too. And by the way, Tuesday's game is a radio game too. So if you're unable to watch on Flyer Media Productions, it'll be on Q92 with our 6:45 pregame and our 7:15 puck drop. There's a tip in front there by Avery. Another save made there by Parker. And the puck will be cleared to the line and out to center ice. Moving ahead this time is Daniels. Daniels trying to get around that time the check there of Cooper and unable to do so, and coughs the puck up, gives it to Colton Johnson. Back to Cooper. Cooper now to take it away from Daniels. Sent it out in front. Backhand attempt. Save is made. That one squirted right through. Went from one post all the way across the other side as Pakala was trying to pick up his 4th of the season. Instead, it'll be an icing call here on the Flyers.
There was no Isaiah Gendro on that shift for the Little Falls Flyers, as Aaron Murad's been plugged in with Avery and Walensky. So Gendro went off late in the second period, and we haven't seen him since. He has 2 goals in this game, goals 5 and 6, 1 in the first, 1 in the second.
Face off in the left circle to the right of the netminder kicker. And this will be touched there by Pakala, sends it out in front. Intercepted here by Philippi. Matt's got the hat trick already. He'll come into the corner, leaves it back for George Moore. Puck intercepted there by the Storm, taken back by Hayden Johnson, has it along the blue line, trying to get it over to Philippi. It's tipped off there, however, by Eitenauer. In the corner now is Othout. Sends it over to an open side. That's where Jensen is, and then it's flipped to the line and out to center ice. Picked up here by Portner. He's got the lone goal for Sauk Rapids.
And he was shaken up late in the second period for Sauk Rapids.
Yeah, it's good to see him back out there. Cray trying to clear it out. Eitenauer's shot, kind of a weak one that goes wide, and picked up here by Othout. Plays it out to center ice. They'll say no icing. 12:30 to go here in the game. Running time right now, a 7-1 lead for the Flyers. On a neutral ice, picked up by Colton Johnson. He'll play it back to Cooper. Cooper back now to Johnson. Colton Johnson flips it up here, and it's touched there by Alec Lindberg. And then it'll be controlled there by Jensen. Plays it over to the right side. Touched by the other captain, Christensen. And Christensen dumps it in deep. Comes around to Alec Lindberg on the right wing. He'll try to get it up to his brother. Colton Johnson helping out there. Can't get it out of the zone, though. Picked up here by Pawlinski. His shot goes wide. And the Flyers trying to clear it out. Unable to do so as Alec Lindberg had his pocket picked there and pushed in deep by Patterson. In the corner now, it'll be controlled here by Cooper. He'll skate it out at least to center ice. Pinched up along the boards there, and then it's dumped all the way back in by the Storm. 11:35 to go here in the third. And a 7-1 lead for Little Falls. They've had 6 unanswered goals after a 1-1 score back in the first. Played to the line, not out yet. Who's going to come up with the puck? It's bouncing around. It's going to be Walensky. Here comes Joey. He'll come across the blue line. White picks his pocket a little bit. Throws him to the boards. In the corner now is Murad. And Murad now trying to circle out of there. Murad now gets it nearly. Pass there from Walensky back to Murad. They're able to keep it in there was Cray. Murad now had it for a short time. Cleared the length of the ice by Vassar. And we'll get an icing call here on the Storm with 10:50 and counting in the third, all Little Falls.
Well, we'll have a chance to talk to Little Falls Flyers head coach Joey Hanowski in our post-game show. Of course, Little Falls took 8 penalties against Alexandria. They took 8 penalties against Pine City. Coach Hanowski not at all happy. They had a long practice last Saturday morning, did a little extra skating, and seems to have paid off. Little Falls just 1 penalty this afternoon.
Probably would have been a little bit longer, but I think they had a Bantam tournament here, so they only
had no choice.
They had a short window.
They had no choice.
I think it was from 7 to 9, if I remember right. Does that sound about right?
The practice time?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was an early wake-up call.
It was. Coming across now, this is Avery with it. Into the corner, 10 minutes to go in the contest. The Flyers with a comfortable 6-goal lead. So he tipped out, and it'll get through, and it should be icing coming up here. And it will as it crosses. Still 1-0 score, Hermantown and Matamidi as they've gone into period number 3 in that game. Shots are 27-10 in favor of Hermantown. And Mr. Ben Dardis is keeping Matamidi in the game.
We had a chance to see Dardis play a little bit when we were preparing for the Little Falls Monticello game at the Trier rink right after Thanksgiving as they were playing just prior to the Little Falls game.
Whoa, there's a stick that comes up in the air. I don't think I've ever had to worry about getting hit by a stick. Occasionally a puck, but a stick.
Yeah, we've had pucks come our direction, but I don't believe we've ever had a stick in the press box.
No. Well, I've been doing this in my 16th year here at the Exchange Arena. I've seen some interesting stuff, but that's one thing I haven't had the luxury of having happen yet, and I don't ever want that to happen either. As a delayed offside coming up here on the Flyers will give Jensen and the Storm an opportunity to get it out to center ice. And Jensen fires a shot, but right off the blocker there of Colton Johnson. Back the other way now comes Othout. Comes across the line, gives to Philippi. Philippi, nice pass over there to Hayden Johnson, but it was on his backhand and it just went over his tape too. Philippi gets it down low now to Othout. Othout in the corner. Carter Othout, turn around, wrap around. That one through the blue paint. As Parker watched it go right by him. Back out to center ice it comes. Dumped in by Hayden Johnson. 8:10 to go here in the third. And a 7-1 Flyer lead. Still controlled here by Little Falls down in the storm zone. As that's Philippi with it. Philippi still with it. Waits, gets it back now to the point. Touched here by Cray. Tipped there by Othout. And it'll be covered up by Xander Parker for a faceoff.
Sauk Rapids had 10 shots on goal in the first period. They've only had 4 shots on goal since the end of the first period, but the game really turned with 45 seconds to go in period 1 when Little Falls got the goal from Gendro with an assist to Matthew Cooper, and that put the Flyers up 2-1 late in the period, and it seemed to really take a lot out of Sauk Rapids.
Colton Johnson goes back in his own end. Moved ahead here now by Lindbergh. And then the Storm will dump it back in deep once again. Down to 7 minutes and some change here in the third. And no scoring to tell you about so far in this period as both teams just kind of going through the motions for the most part. Held in at the left point here this time by the Storm as that was taken there by Patterson. And intercepted by Johnson, Colton Johnson in his own end. Out to center, Garrett Lindbergh with it. Moves it ahead, trying to get it to Hudson Philippi, who got his first varsity goal tonight. Philippi in the corner, trying to take the puck away, that time away from Daniels. Philippi has it in the corner, centered it out, trying to get it to Garrett Lindbergh. Shot taken there by Cray, save made by Parker, rebound. And another save by Parker, and he holds on. It was 6:24, they stopped the clock for a second there, now they started it up again.
Momentary delay. Other than an injury, the clock will continue to run here in the third period. A 6-goal lead for the Little Falls Flyers.
Puck stays in the zone here. George Moore trying to get it to his forehand, had it taken away there, and back the other way, coming out to center ice there was Eitenauer. Now moving across the line is Walensky. Walensky had it taken away that time there. Kuklak with it. He'll give it to Eitenauer, who dumps it in. Kicker back there to leave it off. Played ahead there by Cray. Little give and go there, Walensky to Cray. Moved ahead now to Avery. Avery's got a 2-on-1 with Cray if you can get to it. Avery couldn't get to the puck though in time, as it was a good job defensively to play it there was Noah McDonald, at least to keep it away from Avery and pass it over to Cray. Now a chance down low. Marad with a shot, and he nearly had his first. And that one, getting a piece of it, was Parker. Then it comes off the glass, comes back, and the save is made. And he holds on with 5:10 and counting here. Still 7-1 Little Falls.
Aaron Marad getting some valuable playing time for the Little Falls Flyers, replacing Gendro on that second line with Walensky and Avery. Of course, Gendro was injured in the second period, has not returned. Sauk Rapids, Xander Parker in goal in this period as he relieved Cole Young after the second period.
Not sure if we mentioned it, but the junior varsity team won today. Got their first JV win, 5-2.
Yep, I had that right at the top of the score sheet. Was going to mention that after the first period, forgot. Going to mention that after the second period, forgot. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, there we go. So congratulations to Austin Fensky, as he's the JV head coach. And the JV team with their first victory, a well-deserved victory, as they've had one tie, and they've had a couple of chances for victory, but just unable to get over that hump. Finally they do. They get their first one of the season, so they, I believe, are now 1-6-1 on the season. Flyers look like they're going to go to 8-0, as they're 4 minutes away from that. There's a giveaway and opportunity for Sauk Rapids. Backhanded tap there by Pakala. Save is made there by the netminder DJ Kicker, and back the other way. Now comes Philippi. Matt Philippi Got across the line, then Portner picked
it's a
his stick.
slash.
There's a slashing call, and the penalty is going to come up. I was hoping they were going to call that. So we'll get a stop of play here. They'll set the time, and then we'll start that up as the penalty going to the box will be Jet Wheeler, 2 minutes for slashing.
Wheeler slashing, 13-17 in the third period. Little Falls to the power play. They have been very proficient with the man advantage this afternoon. 2 for 2. And it looks like they'll start this power play with Hudson Philippi, Joey Walensky, Luke Avery, defensively Cooper and Colton Johnson.
As you mentioned, 2 for 2 tonight. Let's see what they can do here. 3:23 to go here in the contest. And it's Colton Johnson with a shot. He scores. And Colton Johnson gets his second of the game.
13:49 of the third period. We'll get a look at the replay here on Flyer Media Productions as Johnson walks in and fires it past Parker in the Storm net. A power play goal for Little Falls, their third power play of the afternoon. It's 8-1. Boy, if we'd have been on the radio, we'd have had the phones ringing back at the station all afternoon.
And we have all the phone lines working too.
At 13:49 of the third period, number 17, Colton Johnson. With the assist to number 14, Luke Avery, and number 21, Matthew Cooper.
So Cooper and Avery get the assist. Colton Johnson gets his second of the afternoon. And it's now 8-1, Little Falls. Final today, Warroad was a 7-1 winner over Rogers. As that final just came in. So Warroad still undefeated, the number 2 ranked team in the state. Hermantown, as I mentioned, with that 1-0 lead in the third period, as that's the 1 versus 3 matchup. We'll get you hopefully a score final on that in the postgame show. 2 minutes to go in this one. And all Little Falls, as they've now had 7 unanswered goals after it was a 1-1 score back in the first. And Sauk Rapids will come out to center ice with it. Eitenauer had it for a short time, taken away there by Moore. Taken away then from Moore as it passed out to McDonald. He'll dump it back in. Minute 30 to go here in the contest. As Jamie mentions, only 6 shots since period number 1 completed for the Sauk Rapids Storm. So they've almost gone 33 minutes with only 6 shots. Back the other way. Not the worst we've seen this year in high school hockey. Of course, the 59-1 outshooting of Crookston.
I was told
Or was
by
that
a
not
reliable
right?
source that Crookston might have had 2.
Okay. Well, thanks for the update.
Yes, well, you brought it up, so.
And there's a goalie change now as Reed Schultz is in net for the Flyers. And Schultz comes up with his first save. So I'm guessing that when the penalty happened, they made the change, and Schultz got the varsity, or the JV win today. And now Schultz is in the net here for the final 30-some seconds. I'm thinking he came in probably with about 3.5 minutes left. That's when the penalty time happened. He's out there right now as we're seeing a few new faces out there. Dylan Young is out there now too. Down to 17 seconds left to go. Flyers have it down low and out in front. Save made there by Parker as he robbed Alec Lindbergh of his first varsity goal. As we're down to the final 4 seconds as Garrett Lindbergh, his brother, got it over to him. That's the horn. And the Flyers are victorious by a final score of 8-1.
Well, that's unfortunate that Alec Lindbergh was unable to cash in on that last shot. That third line played well. Garrett Lindbergh centering Alec Lindbergh and Hudson Philippi. Of course, Hudson Philippi scored his first varsity goal at 4:39 in the second period, but a complete performance for the Little Falls Flyers. Coach Hanowski said in his keys to the game, I want Little Falls to play a complete game. As far as I'm concerned, they did.
Absolutely, an 8-1 victory for Little Falls. And that is their 8th win of the season, and the Flyers now are 8-0 on the year. And And their next game coming up will be on Tuesday against the Brainerd Warriors. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. We're going to get a chance to talk with Joey Hanowski here in just a moment or so. Score update from East Grand Forks. Alexandria now leading 3-1 over the Green Wave with about 4 minutes remaining in that game. So that's a surprising score. No surprise on the score here, Jamie, though, as it was all Little Falls 8-1. If you want to give us a quick summary, we'll go with that right now.
Well, Little Falls had a 2-1 lead after 1 period of play. Flyers got first period goals from Colton Johnson and Isaiah Gendro. The goal in period 1 for Sauk Rapids came from Easton Portner. 2-1 Little Falls after 1. Flyers open it up in the second period with 5 goals. Matt Philippi with 3 of the 5. Also scoring in the second period, Hudson Philippi and Isaiah Gendro for the second time in the game. And in period 3, we had just 1 goal. It was on the power play at 13:49. We'll have a chance to look at it here on Flyer Media Productions as Colton Johnson's shot eludes the goaltender, Xander Parker. Johnson's second of the game, third of the season. First assist, Luke Avery. Second assist, Matthew Cooper. Colton Johnson from Luke Avery and Matthew Cooper. 13:49 in the third period on the power play. Final goal this afternoon for Little Falls as they beat Sauk Rapids 8-1. The Flyers were 3 for 3 on the power play, and Coach Hanowski has arrived.
Joining us now is the head hockey coach of the Little Falls Flyers, that being Joey Hanowski. And Joey, another win. Had a nine-day break. And maybe a little rusty to start out here or there, but in a 1-1 game. But after that, you guys really opened it up and came up with an 8-1 win. Your comments about tonight's contest?
Yeah, I think after a nine-day break, you're going to have a little rust. But first period, I thought we were pretty good, to be honest. They just did a good job packing it in. And, you know, we can challenge them to play a complete game, and I would say that's about as complete as we can play at this point of the season.
Yeah, Jamie was mentioning that, probably one of the most complete games you've had so far this year. And you got a nice start here with Colton Johnson tonight, getting his second goal of the season, and then he got another one later on.
Yeah, I thought our D overall were really good. I think especially Cooper and Colton both had good plays in that first. We want them to be physical, but at the same time, use your sticks when you can, right? Don't get out of position, and I thought we did a better job with that tonight.
What did you say in the locker room, I guess, after the first period? You did get a goal late in the first period to at least go up 2-1.
Yeah, we said it was a good first. To be honest, it was 2-1, but we outshot them, and they packed it in, and they did what they had to do to compete. Then we got in the power play, and I thought our power play looked better today. And like I said, we rolled, and we had a good second, and it was fun in that third to get some kids I've never played before some time.
Well, Joey, you joined us after the Pine City win, a 6-3 win a week ago Thursday. You were extremely disappointed with the number of penalties that the Flyers had taken in that Pine City game along with the Alec game. I think it was 16 penalties in the last 2 games. That wasn't a problem this afternoon.
No, I guess the 7 a.m. skate got their attention, but I just told them to work hard, right? The undisciplined ones we won't put up with. I thought, even the Alec Lindbergh penalty, he was working hard, right? He's moving his feet, hooked the kid, but again, we just said the undisciplined penalties have to stop, so I guess they got the message.
Let's talk about Matt Philippi. Obviously, he joined the 100-point club in the Alexandria game. He slowly keeps climbing the list in here today. He's got a hat trick, another assist, 4 more points, and he's just, as we see the list here on the board there, as he was coming in with 103 points, and now he's tied with some guys that you might know on that list in Austin Bjorgi, Lucas Jurgensen, Wesley Vitachik, and Ben Nelson in that 16th spot. But he is one player that last year when I had a chance to talk to him, he wasn't necessarily sure about his role of being a goal scorer, and I think at that time Tony had kind of said, hey, you need to be the goal scorer. He's really come into this year knowing that he has to be that goal scorer, and he's performed.
Yeah, Matt's a special player. We knew that coming in, but his line mates are doing a great job too, right? I mean, you look at all those great scorers that we've had in Flyer history, they've had good line mates. Hayden Johnson and Carter Olthout are working for him right now, and Matt did a nice job today. Had a 1 highlight reel goal, but the other ones were power play goals. They got him, and he puts it away. So you got to have good line mates, and he's got 2 good line mates right now.
Isaiah Gendro scored a couple goals for you. He got injured, at least from our perspective. It looks like went back into the locker room in the second. Is he okay? Too soon to tell?
Yeah, we'll just we'll get more on Monday. It was a precautionary thing to keep him out. 7-1 game, you don't really see the reason to bring him back. We're hoping he's okay. He's having an outstanding season for us, kind of helping run that second line. So I'm not going to speculate it on right now, but we'll just see on Monday.
Gotta ask, you're the power play guy, and you had 3 power plays today. Were you happy with your power play performance?
Yeah, well, just the biggest thing we tell, even with our first power play group, we got a lot of skilled guys, but just make the simple plays, moving around puck. I mean, we always say, granted, the Edmonton Oilers have 2 of the best guys in the world with Draisaitl and McDavid, but we show their power play because they just move it around. It's a 5-man unit moving it. They did a good job. Better. We still stick handle too much for me, but it was better today.
Tuesday night, you play Brainerd for the first time since January of 2011. Do you remember that game at all?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that will, people don't forget about that game, especially some stuff after the game. But I'm glad we're playing. It's a great rivalry. They had a slow start to their season, but I think they kind of woke everyone up with a huge win against Fergus.
Do you remember on the ice what happened that
do you
game?
remember anything particular as far as how well you played in that game?
All I know is we won, and we went home with a win against a good rivalry.
And you had 2 goals in the game.
Well, hopefully we have that again. And, I think with winter break with college and stuff, we should have a good crowd here. And it's a great rivalry. Like I said, Brainerd's got a great program. Like I said, they're coming off with a huge win, so we'll see how it goes.
I'm glad you guys were able to get that back on the schedule, because I think that's something that's been missing for a long time. Especially, I get it, they're AA, we're single A, but it's towns that are close enough that there needs to be that, so I'm glad it's happening again.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of rich history there. I mean, let's be honest, they're the big brother to us.
Yep.
Growing up, that was why the rivalry was so big. And I'm just happy that, like I said, those are section-like games. When you're a team that doesn't have a conference, you need to, when you're scheduling those non-conference or non-section games, you need those section-like fields. Alexandria is a perfect example. Sadly, now with Fergus being in a non-section game, but that's another big rivalry game. So we're happy that those are on the schedule for sure.
Well, we look forward to Tuesday night, Joey. Congratulations, you're 8-0. And like the guy driving the Zamboni says, you may never lose.
Well, let's just keep going and keep making playing good hockey, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I know there's T-shirts.
You don't have a shirt yet, do you?
No, I do not have that T-shirt with me right now.
Souvenir T-shirts, but Wesley Wojtaszek, he said it. He may never lose.
Well, like I said, one game at a time. Thank you, Flyer Media Production, for coming on a Saturday, and appreciate everything they do. I know my wife and my in-laws really appreciate it when they can just sit at home, and I don't blame them not coming to the rink and getting cold when you can sit on your couch and watch it.
Oh, I tell you, though, they're missing out, though, you on the bench, though, all the antics that you have.
Antics. I think I'm pretty calm compared to Tony, but yeah, I don't know. There's sometimes
people don't see that. So come on, I was trying to live it up here.
Tony always used to tell me that he mellowed out towards the end of his career. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I've been to a couple big games in the last couple years, but that's why Cooch was such a successful coach. He brings passion and his love for Flyer hockey on the bench too. So.
Well, you've done a great job of taking over that tradition, and so far an 8-0 start, and we wish you the best of luck on Tuesday, and we'll see you then.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Yep. Once again, that is the head coach of the Little Falls Flyers, first-year head coach, Joey Hanowski, and it's 8-0 already for the Flyers, and I know you.
We tried to trap him a couple times there. He's good. He spun right away from trouble.
I know, he does.
He spun right away from trouble.
It's not his first time being around us either, though, so he kind of knows how we are.
I had a feeling he knows he scored 2 goals in that game against Brainerd.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah. He'll probably tell us afterwards when we're off the air, so we'll let you know on Tuesday that.
Well, and also I want to mention Tuesday night between the second and third period, if all goes well.
Yeah.
Former Little Falls Flyer Dane Kucher will join us live between the second and third period. Dane got his first shutout for the Twin Cities Thunder last Saturday night, so Dane has agreed to join us between the second and third period on Tuesday night against Brainerd.
Yeah, looking forward to that, getting a chance to talk with Dane, and I'm sure he's getting a look to see in person the Flyers here of the 21-22 season.
Well, the shots on goal were 44-17 in the Little Falls Flyers' favor, and a nice, efficient 8-1 win with a huge second period as the Little Falls Flyers got 5 second-period goals. Leading the way, Matt Philippi had 3 goals and an assist unofficially for 4 points. I had Hayden Johnson with 3 assists. Isaiah Gendro had a couple goals, and Colton Johnson had a couple goals. So a good afternoon for the Flyers. They had played 7 games in 14 days. Then they had this little extended break. They're back in the win column to go 8-0, and then the big one Tuesday night before Christmas with Brainerd.
And that is our next broadcast here on Flyer Media Productions and also on Little Falls Radio Q92. And that, as you can see on the screen, JV game at 5:30, the varsity game at 7:15. Our pregame coverage around 6:45 for that. So if you are unable to make it to Exchange Arena, it should be, you can watch it or you can listen to it on the radio.
Our crew does a great job.
Yes.
Mark Deal, Karen, the rest of the group, wonderful job. We're a minor part of what goes on here with Flyer Media Productions, and we're proud to be a part of it.
As you see the camera operators for today. So we thank them, and we thank Mark behind the scenes too, doing a great job of production and those graphics too. Jamie was very happy about those graphics.
Yeah, the graphics
and the
were
replays.
very professional.
Very.
Those were professional-like graphics.
Well, I see he's given himself as the executive producer. I like that. I like that, Mark. That's good. That's awesome. All right, our next broadcast, as I mentioned, coming up on Tuesday. We invite you to join us for that. For the crew behind the scenes, for Jamie Pettit, I'm James Hershey saying good afternoon from Little Falls.